Hello and welcome to the Silver King's War. I'm Michael Sievers, the writer, producer, and creator of this podcast series about my father's Second World War as a B-26 bombardier. Today we continue in the Silver King's letters from gunnery school near Las Vegas, Nevada. Stanley continues writing to his mother, Sarah Bell, while she's in Chicago with his sister's family. And it's Sunday, July 25th, 1943. Mother dearest, it was swell receiving your letter and card from the 885. Thank everyone for their good wishes. I wish I could have been there with you. You must be having the time of your life with Richie. He must be adorable from your description. I've got hopes of spending the Xmas holidays with him and you all. It's a beautiful day here and rather cool, only about 115. Just to give you an idea of how terrifically hot it gets here, I had a little bit of shoe wax in my footlocker yesterday, and this morning it's liquid. I'm almost afraid that my blood will dry up. Every other day I go down to the hospital for a quart. Yesterday at retreat parade, the fellows were falling out like flies. It's a good thing we only have that once a week. The ambulances stand by just waiting to pick them up. Someday I'll look back upon all this and be amazed how I was able to get through it. Last night, 25% of the squadron had open post. That's how it works every week, only so many at a time. We had to draw lots for it, and for the first time in my life, I've drawn a lucky number. However, it didn't do me any good. Those of us who were late getting here were confined. I'm not too sorry, though, as I didn't have money to go to town for a good time. Sleeping this morning was wonderful. I'm really worn out at the end of the day. The heat saps the energy from you. Only 5 more weeks to go. Really, only 3, as the last 2 will be flying, and I don't count that as work. The classes as a whole are very interesting. The turret drill class is like an amusement park. It works like the machines you see where you fire at a plane across a screen. The turrets are mounted on boards, just as they are in the planes. We start out shooting BB guns mounted like the machine guns. This past week, we were on the range shooting them, and if I'm as good in the real guns as I am on these, I'll get along okay. From this, we go to shotguns, which might be this coming week. Mother, I'm wondering what you might say if I told you I plan to get married when and if I get my commission. Remember the whack I told you about? The one I met at Lakeland? She's getting out of the service now that they have become a part of the Army. And I'm seriously thinking of asking her. Of course, I know you would disapprove because she is a Christian. Other than that, though, what do you think? Believe it or not, I actually went to temple Friday night. Frankly, I don't know why. I just decided to go. The service wasn't too bad, perhaps a little more orthodox than I like. We don't have a chaplain here, so an enlisted man gives the service. There aren't enough men here to have a chaplain. Give my regards to everyone, and I'm glad Mr. B is improving. Write soon. I love you and miss you, Stan. Stanley, the dutiful son, knows that his father is alone and working at home in Birmingham, and he writes on Tuesday, July 27th, 1943. Dear Dad, your letter was missent to Long Beach and didn't arrive until today. I don't have to tell you how swell it was hearing from you, and thanks a million for the $10. You needn't have done that, as I really don't need it. Being confined to the post doesn't offer much opportunity to spend money, and on the post there isn't any place to spend it. The fact is, I haven't the time to even go to the PX, and consequently I'm saving money, and besides, payday is Saturday. I'll tell you what I'll do, though. If by chance I get to town this weekend, I'll add the 10 of yours at some crap table and split the profits with you. I am really suffering from the heat. Today the thermometer read 142 in the sun. It really is almost unbearable. I sit in classes with sweat pouring off like water. You'd think the buildings would be air-conditioned, but that's the Army way of doing things. At every free minute, and that isn't often, I take a shower. That's the only way of cooling off. It's a lucky thing there isn't any shortage of water here. There's a big dust storm blowing up now. It's the first slightly cool breeze there has been since I've been here. I'm hoping it will rain, but I think that's hopeless, as someone said it hasn't rained here in 5 years. It's so very dry that it's actually hard to breathe. It's impossible to get a good smoke from a cigarette. The tobacco dries up the instant I open a pack. Last night was the first night since I've been in the Army that I wasn't able to fall asleep. It was so damn hot and stuffy, I tossed and turned all night. That's the trouble with this place. The nights are as hot as the days. I would be willing to wager the temperature doesn't vary 15 degrees during the 24 hours. Perhaps with the dust storm it will cool off enough to sleep. I surely need it, as I'm dead tired. This place wouldn't be too bad if there wasn't so much school. Going to classes 8 hours in a day, besides the night classes, is a terrific grind. I have only one night a week to myself, and that's tonight. The majority of the classes are the study of gun turret maintenance and operation. I won't actually fire the .50 caliber machine gun for another week or so. So far, I've just fired BB guns, which are operated just as the real thing. Tomorrow I advance to the shotgun. With this I will shoot skeet for the purpose of learning to lead a moving target. It should be a lot of fun. The last 2 weeks will be spent firing from an airplane. That means the rest of this week and the next 2, all the shooting will be done on the ground. If the heat doesn't get me down, I think I'll come through okay. I'll also get gunner's wings when I graduate from here. The commission doesn't go with it, so it doesn't mean much. I can imagine how you hated to leave Chicago and how lonesome it is for you. You must have had a swell time with Richie and the kids. I wish I could be there, too. It would be swell if Leona returned with Mother. The rest would certainly do her a world of good. I hope you aren't staying out in the sun too much and you're taking good care of yourself. Don't work too hard. Just keep well. Please write me again soon. I've given you about all the dope on this place. I wish I could write you more often, but there just isn't time. Love to Ida. Love, Stan. The Silver King starts August with a letter to his family on Sunday, August 1st, 1943. Dearest Ones, you should see me now. I've just had a GI haircut. A fresh order came out yesterday that all personnel must have one. I wish I had a camera. It would give you a good laugh. It will be many weeks before I'll be able to comb it again. That's the only good part about it. It saves the trouble of combing. I had open post last night, and it's a good thing, as I wouldn't want to be seen in town looking as I do. I had a swell time. Really got a kick out of the town. It's hard to believe such a place exists without seeing it. I had only 6 hours of liberty, 6 to midnight. I never saw so much gambling. It couldn't have changed much since you were here. We didn't stay in town very long, as we were told the last frontier was the place to go, and that's where we spent the entire evening. To me, it was a place that I believed was only in the movies. I can think of no better place I'd rather spend a vacation. When this war is over, I'm coming back to this part of the country to really enjoy myself. I tried the crap table, but of course didn't do any good. I didn't lose much, as I wasn't paid yet, and it's a good thing. Joel McCrea, the movie star, was there. I recognized him immediately, as he looks exactly as he does on the screen. He was the only star there as far as I could see. There were a lot of beautiful women that could have been stars. I probably won't get out anymore. The system here gives you only one open post for the entire 6 weeks. And I've got a tough schedule next week, 11 hours of school every day. That means I won't have much time for writing. The last class is over at 9 p.m., and with lights out at 9:30, it doesn't leave any time at all. So you'll understand when you don't hear from me. I hope you're well and taking care of yourselves. Please write soon. Love to Ida. I love you and miss you, Stan. This is the end of the Silver King's letters from Las Vegas, Part 2, as our hero continues the grind of his training in the heat of the desert summer. And you are listening to the Silver King's War.